Ladies and gentlemen, hello. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Gazy. Nice to meet you. As far as meeting can go through this kind of like one way mirror, I guess. I don't know. So I want to do stuff like this because I just want to do stuff like this, like I like of editing videos and all that stuff, posting videos. I wouldn't mind doing it, but I think I might end up retorting backward into podcast audio only content. Not that I don't want to make videos. I will, and have a lot of there's a lot of projects that are gonna that are stick around. There's so much that's gonna be involved, but this is one of the more like not just innocent but very me, just me, like me sharing. I want that, I really do. And I'm gonna be doing some more stuff like this. I did one of the worst things that you can possibly do. I watched a Ghibli movie, and by saying it was the worst, I mean to say that it was transformative and it wrecked me. Spoiler alert: if you haven't cried during a Ghibli movie, you will. You will. This was my first Ghibli movie. I've never seen Ghibli. This is my first. That's why I was truly compelled to just talk and voice it out. And hopefully it resonates with you. And if you haven't watched this particular film, maybe if you want to watch it alongside me, alongside this commentary, or this post commentary, I guess, I don't know, then you're free to do so. I was alone. I had the luxury of being alone because, man, if I was with the boys or with anyone else, man, they would have seen the tears. I watched Grave of Fireflies. Pardon me, Grave of Fireflies, and I I was wonderfully surprised. It's a genuine masterpiece. And it's in my top 10, and I'm certain that there's some other films that I'm gonna go into some Ghibli stuff, I guess, later, more down the line. I want to see if there's a like an order I need to watch them. I've been wanting to do the same thing with Suzume, Weathering with You, and I already saw Your Name, but I want to rewatch all three again. With now the name I'm blanking on the dude's name, but I watched 5 centimeters. I watched that film. I still want to watch the Pancreas one. I still want to watch you know what I'm talking about by me saying the Pancreas one. I know it wasn't the same Makoto Shinkai. I don't think Pancreas was Makoto Shinkai, but I watched Garden of Words, and that was lovely. But I'm going off. I might want to watch those together, collectively. Same way with these Ghibli movies. What I found most refreshing was that I wasn't pandered to. Movies now just give you what you want, and there's no backbone, there's no directorial spine. Don't give me what I want. Give me what you have. Tell me what you are working on. Tell me what the picture is. Tell me what your lessons are. Don't be so cowardly to have me walk out of your film or turn off. Don't or not have me recommend it. There are things in life that are more that value that weigh more than money. They weigh more than money. And I think the art section of society, the creators rather than the capitalists, the creators need to start owning their material and owning their opinion and owning their rights to say, hey, no, this is what I got. I don't care if you want it or not. And I don't care if it makes money. And that's what will make the capitalist run away. When a creator doesn't care, but they own what they have, that's the firepower, man. And all creators need to start owning and taking up and assuming the risks of their creation, because it's not about now. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not about you reaping the benefits, reaping the rewards now. It's not now. It might be later. It might be sooner than not. But you need to just say that you're willing to suffer that bit. You're willing to just eat the cost because of the dream that you have. So I'm all for that, man. The fact that this film didn't just give me everything that I was asking for, or that it played into what I thought was going to happen. If you haven't seen, it's going to be hard not to spoil, because of course, number one, you might have seen it already, and then number two, it's not a film that spoils anything. In the first scenes, the first 15 minutes of the movie, you see everything. And then it's the pain. It's the pain. And pain is long and drawn out. Pain is something that you suffer. It's something that you bear, and you have to bear it. And it was something that I was not prepared for. Like, in all honesty, I wasn't prepared when I saw this film to see so much pain all at once. Like, the various realities. Join me as I walk outside as I'm about to water my garden. The pain. It was there were levels to it, and that's the thing that really just brought me down. The pain of losing a loved one, the pain of being with family that doesn't consider you family, the pain of reality. The pain of seeking help from society and seeing how society truly reacts. The pain of having to grow up, not because you're irresponsible, not because you not that type of pain, not because of anything you brought on, not like you're irresponsible, and so because you're irresponsible, you need to own up and grow up to certain realities. No. Like, paying your side of the rent. Let's see if it's center. Yeah, it's this one. It's not that. It wasn't like. How many of you are possibly taking care of siblings? And sometimes it's not sometimes it is not appropriate at all for a young adult to have to fulfill the role and the obligations of an adult. A father should be a father all the time. A mother should be a mother all the time. And of course, in this film, let me just be more specific about the film. They weren't there. And so having to deal with that really broke me, to be quite honest. So the pain of all that. I guess the second thing that really called me out was seeing the seeing the responsibility, seeing how responsible you truly have to be, and never being told about the immensity of that responsibility. So here in the film, and I'll try not to spoil, but in the film, you have a young man who truly has to grow up before his time. And when you try to grow up, what hurts the most, what truly hurts the most about growing up is that no one, sometimes even no one cares, because they're off trying to care about themselves. And that, when you're told by society, when you're just told, man, that it takes a village, it takes a village to raise a child, but then now you see how no one in the village truly cares. It's a lie. You've been lied to. We've been lied to. And so I've been in that situation where I've seen how I've had to provide, and I truly, at this moment, I have to provide. And seeing now how it's only up to oneself to provide. Like, there's no one's going to come to save you. Even those who are, they're in blood. Blood is thicker than water, they always say. But the reality is, people only truly care about themselves. That broke me, man. So you had a young man who truly had to provide. And the immensity of that provision truly wrecked me, because it wasn't just a simple, it wasn't just a simple, let me go and come home, let me get, it's not about, it wasn't a money thing necessarily and solely. It wasn't solely and necessary a money matter that they had to provide, that the character had to provide. It was more about, it was Seta. It wasn't just a money thing. He had to be there for his little sister, emotionally, and he tried as best as he could. Of course, like I mentioned, with his parental situation, he had to keep a relative amount of safeguarding, not because they couldn't handle, his little sister couldn't handle the news, but he didn't know how to convey that type of announcement. So I really resonated with Seta, just being a child. Even now, I'm 38 years old, and quite honestly, I still feel like a child. All right, don't try not to cry. Like, my mom is already up there, and my father's no longer around. And he lived as virtuously as he could, but he's not here. And the chaotic scene of when Seta heard the news about Japan, well, the cruelty of life. And this is me talking as a Christian, and I do believe in the afterlife. However, God is not cruel, but the pain of this life is cruel. God doesn't inflict cruelty, but when you think, it's hard not to just say the thing. Just, you know what I'm saying? Say the thing. You might be wrong, but just say the thing. And to me, the cruelty of having that hope of, you know, my hero's going to come and save the day and he's no longer there. That was immeasurable. That this film was, it struck blows. It truly struck blows, because I think, I talked about the pain, but I think the another facet why this film resonates is because of the personification that we do. So, you know, if you know your literary elements, I once was a public school teacher. I'm not going to go into that, why I'm no longer a public school teacher. I already had a student find me on social media, and they spoke from pain. They spoke from pain for the reason why I left the occupation. But so I'm not going to get into that. But if you know about personification, you know, it's a figurative. It's an element of figures of speech, and it involves placing realistic feeling, or placing a humanized emotion, placing onto something that's inanimate. Now, of course, we're talking about cartoon characters, but the cartoon characters in this case, they were human. The issue, I guess, then is, you know, transferring, you know, these emotions from, you know, from these cartoons to people, to creatures, to real people, to, you know, from what we've have. So let me change the setting. Hopefully me using the water hose hasn't bled. I'll hear it. We'll see. I might have to record this over again. But seeing Setsuko, I just thought about not just her as a child, and it wasn't the childlike wonder. It was seeing someone who needed to be needed, knowing that her infirmity could have been resolved. It all could have been well. It didn't have to happen. Knowing all that it was avoidable, which is what I'm trying to say truly. Knowing that it was avoidable, as someone who is trying to provide for their family, that is the transference, that is the personification, that's that connection that I made that really had an undoing of my emotions as well. Because as someone who is responsible for someone else, you're trying your best to do that. You're trying to best to be that provider. And when life just continues to buffet you over and over and over again with all of these responsibilities, all of these claims, all of these, and all of a suddens, you know, it's the level of injustice, and if you were to say how it, you know, it's unfair, all of that, it really did something to me. So that pain of like personification is something, it added to the experience. Of course, I guess a third aspect of this film that most of you all, you might know, is, well, World War II. So, of course, you know, America goes to war, and what was interesting about this wasn't the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombings. It was those carpet fire bombings. And seeing the effects of what that did and the intention of that. It wasn't like this complete destruction, but it was something that was premeditated, where they knew, oh, the houses are all made of wood. Well, let's burn them. That is a aspect of war that honestly is it just shows the inhumanity of war, doesn't it? So I really got, and then it took another part of the film, like it was post realizing everything, but the grave of Fireflies, it wasn't just so it wasn't just watching the film, but afterward I saw someone say, oh, if you look on the cover, the original cover of the film, you'll see them, Seta and Setsuko, and there's all these fireflies around them. But if you brighten your screen, you'll see that those aren't actually fireflies. Those are actually the firebombing. And you'll see the outline of one of the American bomber planes. And that, here I'm thinking, oh, it's fireflies. It's just, artful. It's an artistic decision that's meant to resonate. No. It was symbolic. And of course, I can't, I'm not going spoilers, but, yeah. So the pain, the neglect and indifference from like family, the personification, the level of personification that I saw, that, and everything that I was able to project from myself and my life experiences, and then the costs of war, made it so that this film truly, it got me in ways that I didn't think it was going to get me. And I'm really glad that it did, to be quite honest. As I just mentioned in the introduction, I'm glad, I don't believe Hollywood anymore. I don't trust Hollywood. I don't trust the acting art form. I don't trust the platform. They just give roles to people based off of box office numbers. It's not about talent. It's not about the story. It's just dead. Hollywood is dead. There's tons of nepotism, and you can go down that rabbit hole, but Hollywood is dead. And so seeing this film truly just like undid me in a great way. And I'm really glad, because I needed that. I definitely needed that moment in my life. So I'll be reading the comments. I want to know what you think. Share with me some of your experiences. I want to see if there's something a theme, if there was something that I missed out that could benefit my schema for the long run of the rest of my life. I'd love to hear what you have to say, what you think. So type all that in the comments below. Definitely, if if you haven't seen the film, go ahead and do it. Trust me, there's no spoilers. There's nothing I could spoil that. Nah. So just have a great time. So, oh, dang. So, last point. This is a bonus. I didn't expect to do this, because I was just going to close the episode. If you don't know, I wrote a book. I wrote a children's book, and the children's book is called Shadow the Firefly. And I didn't connect the two wires until towards the end of the film, where here the illusion of a firefly. At first, it seemed as a beautiful respite, as a small symbol of hope, but the provoking imagery is that there were fireflies in the film, but the fireflies of life were destructive and diabolical. And so with my book, the story is about a firefly that is insecure about the light that they have within them and how they try to shine their light, but it's just doesn't compare to the light that his friends shine. And so a great storm comes and he's able to save some of his friends, but he himself gets blown into a big city, and the insecurity amasses greatly because he sees car headlights, street lights. He sees the reflection of light on these massive windows from these mountains called buildings. And he sees the sun. And all of these lights make make him feel even worse about the light that he has within him, because it's like, I can't even compete. I can't even try. Until, well, I don't want to spoil my own book, but let's just say that the moral of the story is, even if you feel that the light you have within you is bleak and dim, to the right person, it's the brightest light they've ever seen. So I'll leave it at that. So seeing, these fireflies being used for such a provocative moment and such a fleeting moment, and me writing a book about a character that I feel is a part of me closer than some of the other characters that I've wrote in my other books, boy, that did me. So I'm glad to have shared that too, and I'm glad I didn't shut the episode off. So that will be in. I'll just link the books that I wrote, especially that children's book. It's I think it's 10 books, $10. It's not that much for that little book, and most of it's paying for the cost of printing. I'm not making anything really, but if that can be a blessing to you, and if you would like to share that, I actually put it into a movie that you can watch on my channel, Shadow of the Firefly. So you can watch it for free. You can buy the book and do a read along with the kids or something like that. So yeah, 10 out of 10 would recommend. 10 out of 10 masterpiece. Ghibli killed it. And up till next time, where I watch another film, and I don't know which one that will be. Maybe in the comments you let me know. So my name's Gazy. Thanks so much for listening. I had a great time. Hope you did too. God bless. Bye.